Oh, please allow me to introduce myself. Hi. Hi, friends. Hi, Rhodians. Welcome to the Road to 40. This is my nightly vlog where I talk about just about all kinds of crazy shit. You never know what's going down on the road to 40. But I will tell you this. You better tune in now because we've only got about 49 more episodes to go. Countdown. I have an idea for a show. I just emailed 4 old friends of mine who used to have a band called Fragments of an Otherwise Twisted Bone. They were a metal band in the mid to late 90s in Taunton, Massachusetts, who frequently played a lot of clubs, but the main one that everyone would go to go see them at was at the Mainstream Cafe. I can't remember the name of the owner. This is worth looking up just because it has something to do with the story. Owner, Main Street Cafe, Taunton. And so I used to go see them play just about every weekend, or every other weekend, whenever I could. I just got permission from Jay. He's the one that put them up. So I think this will be a fun vlog. One of their original singer, Paul, was a really gruff metal voice, and it was kind of hard what he was telling. And sometimes he wasn't in key, but they always sounded so good together. It didn't really matter. The message was relayed in the tone and just the way he would sing it. The melody, I guess, is the best way to say it. Anywho, I asked him for permission to do a vlog about trying to decipher what the hell Paul is saying. So I'm going to come up with my version. I'll post it, and hopefully I get some of it right. Maybe we'll do that. No, probably not tomorrow. I think I'm out till Sunday. So maybe Sunday night we'll do that. I have an idea. But what I wanted to talk about was the Mainstream Cafe. The very first time I ever really felt like I got to perform in front of a crowd. Like I had played when I was 2 years old. I was singing on stage at church with my dad, and as I went through middle school, I was always in chorus and select chorus, and went out and sang in front of people. Sing and sang. It's a beautiful song. And so I had played with Bob and his band, Twisted Young Minds. They were more of a glam rather than a metal band. I enjoyed listening to them. Don't get me wrong, they weren't a bad band at all, but just the idea where it's kind of a little cheesy now at the time when I look back and think about it. But he asked me to come play or sing a song with them at the Mainstream. I think it was Don't Cry by Guns N' Roses. And I was so, you don't even know, that's like one of the highlight moments of my life, being able to actually finally, for the first time, been striving so hard to play guitar, which I mean, I didn't play, I just sang. Or just be a part of something musical, because I was young. I mean, when you're a kid and you have dreams about being a musician, you don't know that you'll actually go on to do. I mean, I may not have made $1 million like creating music, but I've written a lot of good songs that I enjoy listening to, and I know other people do too, or have. And so, I mean, it's a huge success for me just to know that I was in high school, I wanted to be in a band, I wanted to play music, I wanted to write music. And it was another thing to actually see it start to come about. And so this is the very first time in my life I feel like I was playing to an adult crowd, not like a church or something. This was huge. This is a pinnacle moment in my life. And you don't know unless it's something that you want to do and you have done. The feeling of that, of performing songs. Now, that wasn't even a song I'd written, obviously. I'm not in Guns N' Roses. But just that moment was like an eye-opener that made me go, okay, this ain't the end of the road for playing music. And I took it a few steps further, and I went on in life to, I've recorded some CDs, I've played with some awesome musicians, and just had a good time doing it. Played at some pretty cool clubs with some pretty cool bands, and I'm still doing it now. I mean, not to the degree I did when I was a kid, but I'm happy doing it. And I don't think success is measured in dollars. I think it's measured in the satisfaction you get from doing something. I mean that seems like it should be obvious, but it's not to a lot of people, I don't think. So many people measure wealth in monetary value rather than experience in life. And so until you have that eye-opening moment when something captures your soul like nothing's ever captured you before, until you have that moment, I think you don't really understand the concept of being a wealthy man. You know what I mean? And I've had some just super amazing experiences. My years playing with Lunch Meat Circus and Gray Shine were just so phenomenal. Hanging out with the people I hung out with in that time period, going dancing, or just sitting around drinking or smoking weed or doing whatever was going on that night. Those were some of the most amazing experiences I had, and I had them kind of because of music. I'll tell you just briefly how this works out. High school, I met my friend Dan Harrington and Frank Lewis. The two of them, Dan played guitar. I wasn't quite as good as him at the time. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm nowhere near as good as he is. He's a great guitarist. But I'm just saying, like, at the time we were both young and focusing on playing guitar, and he was so good, and I was just like, man, I want to learn how to play that good. And so Frank hadn't even started playing. He decided he wanted to play bass because he loved Les Claypool at the time, and got a Ministry. We were listening to, Ministry, Primus, Red Hot Chili Peppers. He always loved them. I've never been a fan of them. I don't hate them. I think they have great songs. Anthony Kiedis does nothing for me. Flea is an amazing bass player, but that showmanship, or like that, a lot of the songs, when he's toned down, it's cool. I like hearing the songs that he can do the things he does, but I prefer to hear the songs where he just makes a song better by not having to do that. That's all I'm saying about that. Nothing against the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're just not my thing. And so that was the true moment in my life that I knew I wanted to get more involved in music. Or just learn to play better. And maybe I had a friend, Greg, who also played guitar as well, and we kept talking about jamming, and we'd get together, and none of us really knew what we were doing, so jamming was such a weird thing, and we didn't have a drummer. Finally, I think we got to play with Paul Varney. I think that might have been the first drummer I ever played with. We started something. We started writing some songs too. It just went nowhere, and after that, I ended up playing with Mario and Gary for the next almost 10 years. Well, Mario for 10 years, and so the moments that I have played, the shows that I've played that have stood out, like, to me. Let's talk about it. It's only 7 minutes. I've played, the Middle East up and downstairs. I liked upstairs. Downstairs, when we played, it was a tribute to Dinky Dawson. It was $25 tickets to get in. It was a really good show. Unfortunately, it was a benefit and we didn't get paid, but Gary and I did acoustically Rocket Man and another song. I can't remember what the two were. An original. I think it was Fading August or something like that. It was terrible. It just was no good. We wanted Mario up there, but Mario didn't want to do it for some reason, because he didn't want to do the cover because he didn't feel like we could do it too as good as somebody else. Anywho, that was an interesting show. The finals for Rhode Island, it was, what was it? I can't remember. It's their big competition that they do once a year. Lunch Meat Circus, we made it to the finals, and it came down to 3 bands. It was us, the comic book superheroes, yeah, and some Christian country band. I've told you the story before, so I'll keep it brief. But we ended up taking 3rd. Comic book superheroes took 2nd, and I was just like, no way. And you know what? In my heart of hearts, dude, comic book superheroes, they may have taken 1st place, and I would have been okay with it. This country band knew Jesus, and that's how they got in. I'm telling you, they had an in with Jesus, because otherwise it would have been the two of us. We both performed. There's performers and there's musicians. And you'll notice them. Most of my friends are performers. Like, you'll see it when they play. They're putting on a show, but not because they're putting on a show, but because their heart's moving them. And that's all it takes to put on a show, in my opinion. Like, not having to force it and just feeling it move through you. And it was awesome. That was probably the best night playing ever. And then Rocktoberfest, playing with Incubus, was closing that night. That was an interesting show because we actually showed up late the first day we were supposed to close, I think. Or we were 2nd or 3rd. I can't remember. There was only like 6 or 7 bands that day playing. And so we didn't think we were going to play. We got to meet Aerosmith's manager that day, I think. Tom something. or he was not a member, but he was affiliated with him, I was just like, dude, we gotta make an impression. We gotta rock out here. It was the first place we'd ever played with a huge drum riser and just crazy lights on a big stage, and it was just like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, it felt like it was that next step. Like, problem is we got really lazy after that. I think we were just like, oh, we've made it. We're the best. Or some of us got that way, I guess. Mario never lost focus, but that was an amazing performance that night. And then, obviously, the first time I played with Grayshine, the very first time we played out, Brian was still in the band, and who was playing bass? Rich Marini was playing bass. Yeah, that's how it worked. But just playing with that lineup, because that was songs that I'd written all on my own, pretty much brought them to the band, and we worked them in. We did that with Lunch Meat Circus too a lot, but we wrote together a lot more in Lunch Meat Circus, which was nice. I really liked it a lot. That was more of a heavier band. When I first started, that was a metal band. That sounded like almost like a post-Fragments type band. Like if Fragments had gone on, I was just like, ooh, really like the stuff I'm hearing. And we mellowed out, though. We changed. Because, I mean, I'm not a metal singer. I'm really not. I probably could do it now. My throat's all blown out. Anywho, you don't want to hear all of this. All my war stories. The partying years. That's the tales from the chill room. Maybe one day I'll just spill the whole beans on that whole part of my life. Just all nasty. No, I won't do that. It was a beautiful time. All right, anywho. Yeah, check this out. The last part of the Chris and Nick episode just went up this afternoon, and I'll probably get the 6th one done by Sunday. And then I have to edit the 1 hour of extra footage because I think it was funny. We laughed a lot, so I know there was some funny shit said and done. And I know you guys like to laugh. Who doesn't like to laugh? If you don't like to laugh, you stupid head. What else? I guess that's all. I really thought I had something better to tell you after that. I thought we were going to wrap it up. I got some neat ideas coming up. We're maybe looking into some new cameras, maybe a GoPro, or the Nikon D3300, which is reasonably priced. It's about $100 more than the GoPro, but I'd really like to start working in some, better camera work and more outdoor. Really, we'll talk about it another time. I just want to tell you about the whole music thing. Anywho, Fragments of an Unalloyed Twisted Bone. If you want to hear them, I'll post the link in the details below. I can't link outside of YouTube. I can't remember what you have to do to link outside of YouTube, but I'll figure it out. When I figure that out, I think it costs money though. I'd like to just start putting links, external links up here, make life so much easier than remembering to put everything in the comments below. I'm gonna go watch a movie. I think I'm going to go watch a movie. Thank you guys for always coming back, making my night, and putting a smile on my face. I went through Gil, his register. Next time I go through, I'm going to video record him if he'll let me. Because I want you guys to see him in action. Like, he always sings. When I first got there today, he actually looked like he was down. Like, he wasn't singing, he wasn't being happy. I was like, no. I'm going to find out what the hell's going on, and I'm not leaving until I see a smile on this man's face. He is someone, in my heart, I was just like, something's wrong, and I needed to talk to him. Fortunately, I was wrong, because a moment later, he saw me in line, he's like, hey, Happy New Year, and I was like, hey, Happy New Year to you, Gil. I was so happy to see that he was okay. Like, it must have just been a down moment. So I talked to him for a few minutes, talked to him about his kids. I didn't know, he's got 6 kids in Richmond. I know that now, because I took the time to, get to know this man. I enjoy his company. He's a funny guy, he's a nice gentleman, and, he's what this world needs more of. So if I'd love to get him on here. That would be just awesome. What does he do? Well, he's probably married, but he's got to be in his 60s. Actually, maybe even older, because, no offense, but Asian people don't seem to age as much as white folk and black folk. If you're loving watching these as much as I'm loving making them, please subscribe and pass them along to anybody who you might know who might like watching them. Follow me on the social media. Bitches. It's always at Jason, Guycen. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier together. Let's live life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when that last moment's going to come. And you might as well do all the singing and dancing in the rain you can while you're alive, my brothers and sisters. I didn't mean to exclude the sisters last night. I forgot to say sisters, so homies. Have an awesome night. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another, and take care of those around you who can't take care of themselves. I am Jason Oliveira. This is the road to 40. We ain't got much time left together, folks. But there'll be something new on the horizon. Trust me. I got something brewing. I got an idea. All right. I'll see you guys a little bit further on down the road to 40. Take care.